A very warm good afternoon to our dignitaries from BMA and ISTD, ITM faculty and students, and last and most important, participants for joining us for this symposium on professional excellence through self discovery. We are indeed honored to have you here with us. I, Arushi Jain, along with Simran Patel, on behalf of the Human Resource Department of ITM Business School, Kharghar, bid a very warm welcome to everyone present here. The Human Resource Department of ITM Business School provides holistic development to us, the students, by giving theoretical knowledge as well as experiential learning experiences. ITM's HR department provides detailed insights into various human resource functions, targeting modern day solutions to education, which aims at holistic skill development through intensive corporate interface and various professional HR certification workshops. Some of our best practices include the Global Immersion Program at NTU Singapore, HR Simulation Labs, HR Synergy, and events like Big Boss. This symposium is organized by the HR department of the ITM Business School Navi Mumbai in association with Indian Society for Training and Development Navi Mumbai chapter and Bombay Management Association. All the participants are informed that you'll receive your Google Classroom links in your respective WhatsApp groups by our student coordinators.
So let's begin with the virtual yet traditional lamp lighting ceremony as a remark of enlightenment of symposium on professional excellence through self-discovery. I request everyone to please join your hands for Saraswati Vanna.
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
To grace the occasion today, we have with us Professor RSS Mani, Vice President, Institutional Development of ITM Group of Institutions. He is also the President of Bombay Management Association. Professor RSS Mani is a founding member of the ITM family and has been with the group for almost 3 decades now. He is an alumnus of prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences. He was a gold medalist in the MBA Human Resource stream. He has had very successful stints in Wipro in HR and training and Tata Institute of Social Sciences as a full-time faculty for 15 years before joining the ITM group. He has also been a part of selection boards of several large sector, public and private organizations and NGOs. I would request you, sir, to please enlighten our audience with your words.
Thank you, Arushi, for that warm welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. Namaskar. As was rightly introduced, I have the pleasure of wearing two hats today. Though considering the weather in Bombay, I'm not actually wearing either of them. I represent Bombay Management Association and ITM, which is what I call my Karma Bhumi. As was rightly said, 1991 was the time I joined up ITM, and I've been here for the last 29 years. I know there are a lot of HR professionals in this room, and you must be wondering how I survived there for 29 years in a world where people jump jobs every couple of years. But I think that's what makes ITM a fascinating place. And I'm delighted to be here this afternoon. And I enjoyed seeing that video, which spoke about the wonderful things that happen in ITM. Just confirms to us that maybe we did something right in the last 29 years. Let me compliment Sonal, Tanvi, and the entire team of the Human Resource Department led by Snigdha, supported by Sarit, Veni, and Lakshmi for putting together an activity like this. Very often, what happens in HR symposiums is you have to listen to a lot of lectures, one after the other. But when you actually have an interactive symposium, which is what is in store for you a couple of minutes later, you will experience some of the different learning pedagogies which we use in ITM2. So dear students and colleagues from BMA and all our guests this afternoon, welcome to this interactive session. I'm glad with the cricket season going strong, we are 150 plus. So a century is always welcome in a time and period where I think people are getting a little tired of webinars. I'm sure you heard the latest jargon in the market, and that is called webinar fatigue. But having said that, we are all looking forward to listen to our special guest this afternoon, who's digitally traveled all the way from Chennai. And I'm going to let the team tell you a little more about her. But Vani, welcome to ITM. It's a pleasure to have you here with us this afternoon. As it often happens at the beginning of a program like this, people like me who have a lot of gray hair on their beard and have spent so many years in ITM are asked to come over and tell you a couple of good things about ITM. Trust me, I'm not going to do that. I just mentioned to you already, we feel happy that over the last 29 years, we have been able to contribute something to make the lives of students in India and some of them abroad a little more meaningful. And all I want to tell you this afternoon is, as we welcome you to be part of this learning symposium, which could perhaps take you one step closer to explore an option to study in ITM over a period of time, the only assurance I have for you on behalf of all the faculty that ITM has all over the country, be it Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, Raipur, Baroda, Warangal, the one promise that we as faculty make to you is we will do our best to add value to your lives. It is that promise that we offer to every student who wishes to be part of the ITM family. And I can assure you, every faculty in our team is committed to this mission that ITM had created for itself 29 years ago. What do we say when we add value to your lives? We're not going to add value to your lives by giving you big fat salary packages. I know most students start getting this first question in the mind. How is the college? What are the facilities? And what is the salary package? No one really asks about the faculty. No one asks about the wonderful library or the support that is available for online learning. I know we are going through a recovery phase post-COVID, and therefore, many of you have not yet seen the campuses that ITM has. But nevertheless, please remember, when we are talking about adding value, we are looking at how we can transform you from what you are today to 2 years hence. We are not an employment agency. We are not a recruitment agency. Trust me, if you add value to yourselves, jobs will come your way. Companies will chase you. If you don't add value to yourself, it's just the other way around. You have to chase companies because perhaps no one is interested in hiring someone who's not added value. So I'm going to emphasize on the first thing that you should be looking at for yourselves, irrespective of whether you study in ITM, IIM, or any other college of your choice anywhere in the country. Please focus on adding value to yourself. And the starting point of adding value to yourself, the first thing that you need to do is to have a great sense of character. Now, I'm sure all of us have read about character, integrity, honesty, and sometimes you feel that these words are very boring because they're very difficult to practice. They're easy to read up somewhere or the other. For me, character is what you're doing when nobody is watching. That is the definition of character. And please start on this journey for yourselves. Build a robust character for yourself. Let it be known that you're a person who lives by values, morals, principles, and displays the highest sense of integrity. It starts very easy. How many of you have come across experiences where you praise a person in front of him and you crib about that person behind their back. So praise in front and bitch behind. I'm sorry to use such language, but this is what happens. And therefore, character is what you're doing when nobody is watching. Please focus on building up your character. This will come through first from your home. What is aptly called in Hindi sanskar. This is the starting point of value addition for your lives. And you will continue to develop these good habits in college, from your faculty, from the students, from your industry guides, from your mentors. But as they rightly say, charity begins at home. It has to start from you. Develop a robust character and see your career will go miles and miles ahead without any difficulty. Once you are confirming that you would work towards building this robust character for yourself, the next important thing to remember is be positive. The world is full of negativity around us. We are in a rat race. We are into intense competition. We always worry about winning. In fact, we go a step further. We want to win and ensure that the other person loses. We are unfortunately in a mindset which I call win-lose. Young boys and girls, and of course, my faculty colleagues, please remember, how much ever might be the situation around us, which is grim, which is negative, which is difficult, which is adverse, every adversity will provide an opportunity to do something better. And we must develop what is called this positive mindset. I know of late in Corona times, the word positive is very worrisome, but there we are talking about testing positive. Here I'm talking about being positive. Make this your philosophy of life. My colleagues will bear me out when I say this once again, because ITM also has an Institute of Health Sciences where we train pathologists, and pathologists are always worried about your blood group, A minus, B positive, O positive, universal donor. We say it doesn't matter what your blood group is. Focus on life philosophy as be positive. So when you develop a robust character and show a sense of being positive, then the most important aspect to focus upon is develop the attitude of gratitude. All of us today, in some measure or the other, with the blessings of the Lord Almighty, have survived COVID till now. The fact that you're attending a webinar like this, sitting in the comfort of your homes, anywhere in the country, is testimony to the fact that you first have to be grateful for this blessing that you have. Start being grateful first to your parents, to your teachers who made you competent enough to be actually applying to a management school. And here is where we always say your attitude of gratitude will determine your altitude. How well you do in life will ultimately depend on your ability. First, the character. Second, be positive. And third, the attitude of gratitude. I know it was very coincidental. I rattled off for you what is called CBA, but if you would like it, you can remember it as ABC: attitude, be positive, and character. If you focus on all these three, pandemics might come and pandemics might go, but you still will have the great opportunity to do well for yourselves in your careers. Particularly for the young boys and girls who are attending this event, let career planning be a conscious decision. Let career planning be a choice which you exercise for yourself. Don't get bothered about what others are doing. Don't get caught in the trap that log kya kahenge. Don't be worried about whether your neighbor is going to X college or Y college. Please be worried about what you would like to do in your careers. If you think you want to take a career in hotel management, do it. You want to be a fashion designer, don't let anybody tell you that fashion designing is only for girls. I think most of the big designer brands in India are led by men. And don't let anybody tell you that a hotel management career is very tough for girls. When Vani speaks to you, representing the largest service sector in India, the hotel management and hospitality industry, I'm sure she'll tell you more about how all these myths are unfounded. Choose your career based on your interest, your aptitude, and of course, do keep in mind, choose such a career where you will enjoy what you're doing. I'm sure you've read somewhere this beautiful line that if you enjoy what you're doing, you won't really think you're working. So focus on a career choice for yourself, which you would enjoy doing. Don't be worried if the majority of students are doing marketing and minority are doing HR. Don't be worried that artificial intelligence is a specialization which is in great demand, so I must do it. Don't worry about all this. Please focus upon what is it that you think will interest you in your career. And as you set your entry into any institution of your choice, focus on learning, focus on adding value. I'm consciously using the word learning because what you get at the end of a course is education. Your education process might continue on and on and on as long as you wish to go to a college or an institution. But if you think you do not want to get into an institution, but yet continue your process of acquiring knowledge, you could still get into what is called the learning mode. Thanks to the pandemic, I think India has gone digital 10 years faster than one would have ever imagined. And therefore, the great news has been that whether it be Coursera, whether it be Udemy, and any of the learning portals where you would have picked up some gyan for yourself, please remember that this process should continue for a lifetime. And that is where we say that learning is a process from womb to tomb. Here is where I'd like to put a pause to what I wanted to share with you. I'll be happy to connect with you at any given point in time. We are in a highly connected digital world. If you have the inclination, we have the time. Do reach across to us to be part of your learning journey. Should you choose to build your career with us, you're more than welcome. However, if you wish to interact with us as we go on in your career at some given point in time, I'm sure there will be an opportunity for us to get together at some point in time. May I wish every one of you young minds in this room the very best of luck, and please try to put to practice some of those little things which I told you, as simple as ABC. Thank you very much for your attention, and let me compliment our colleagues in ITM Kharghar for having initiated a wonderful activity like this. Please continue to inspire the lives of young people so that we can make a great India, which all of us are proud of. Thank you very much.
Sir, can we ask you a question?
If Sonal allows or Tanvi allows, I'm happy to answer questions.
Okay, sir.
They can, sir, of course.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I am Supendra Singh Gill. I have completed my engineering and I have completed my master's. So now I am pursuing MBA. So my small question to sir is, sir, what is the procedure or how you can guide us to become a director and how long does it take and what all things that need to be taken care of? So little guidance on that will be very helpful to us.
Certainly. A quick question. You want to be director in an educational institution or in a company?
Sir, both ways, because the main role of the director is to give as much as he can by being in the position. So that is the main concern for me.
All right. Just one line before I answer your question. You don't have to be a director to give as much to anybody. You can always choose to help others become successful. You don't need a position and a title for that. You just need the right mindset to do that, number one. If you want to be a director in an educational institution, you've got to first become a teacher, a professor. You've got to complete your PhD and take up a learning journey as prescribed by the UGC, the University Grants Commission. But a starting point is please complete your PhD. At the risk of appearing that I am talking about ITM, come enroll for our PhD program and see how you can possibly become a director. Many of my colleagues who are sitting in this room who are directors had joined as faculty level and grown in the organization. And we're extremely proud of them because these are the people who have built the institution brick by brick. If you want to be a director in an organization, you first need to commit your time to that organization, build your career in that organization, and grow different levels in the organization based on performance. Please remember, your mama, kaka, chacha can get you a job, but they can't get you promotions. They can't get you growth. They can't get you directorships. All that will happen only through performance. And if you are a good performer, then sky is the limit. But do remember one thing always. Your performance should come with passion. Your performance should not come half-heartedly. Then the results also appear the same way. So these are ways in which you can become a director. You're rather young in life, as I understand from your question. I'm delighted that you have set a very high goal for yourself, but continue the journey of high performance, keep adding value to yourself, and then you will see growth coming your way automatically.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're most welcome. I think in all fairness to Vani, she's someone who is a specialist from the industry, and I'm sure she's going to give you a lot of insights on how to develop your career. I'd request you all to first listen to her, and if you still have questions at the end of it, both of us will be happy to answer your questions. If that is fine, I'll hand back to the...
Yes, sir. Sir, that's okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Mani, for your inspirational words. It was really great to listen to you. I was really intrigued to listen to the three words: attitude, being positive, and adding value to ourselves, the character building. It was really good to listen to this, and I hope everyone really incorporates that into their daily life and work upon it so that our performance really reflects the passion that we show towards our career and towards our personal growth. So now I would like to welcome Ms. Vani Sen Gupta, Director of Human Resources, the Western Chennai. Ms. Sen Gupta is a skilled and dynamic HR professional with 18 years of progressive experience in human resources management and training within the hotel industry. She holds a master's degree in human resource management and possesses hands-on exposure to all human resources functions in various five-star deluxe hotels. Her expertise includes employee engagement, staff recruitment, training and development, and retention, written and oral communication skills, dynamic leadership, strategic thinking, and decision-making skills. She is the president of Tamil Nadu WICCI Hospitality and Tourism Council, member of Performing Animals Committee, part of AWBI, Animal Welfare Board of India. She has been honored with Top 101 HR Minds in India award by the World HRD Congress in 2018 and Rising Star Award by Marriott International in 2017. Recently, ma'am has been nominated to the industry's first and finest Power 25 Human Resources for 2021 by Hoteliers Web. Wishing her all the best, or very best in the race to perform 25 human resources for 2021. I request ma'am to please address our audience.
Thank you for that gracious introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my absolute pleasure to be addressing young students like you, the future of our nation. You know, it always gives me a high addressing the students community because your energy is like contagious, and they say youth power is like magnetic. I should say the video was fabulous, and it is my privilege to share screen space with you, Mr. Mani, and delighted to say that our minds work in tandem. You know, I just wish we were able to do this face-to-face. Would have been a lot of fun, but the new normal says virtual. So let's adapt to this change as well. Before I delve into the subject, let me take this opportunity to thank the management and professors of ITM Business School, the Indian Society of Training and Development, the Navi Mumbai chapter, and the Bombay Management Association for the commendable work that you are doing so far. And undoubtedly, your students will reap the benefits. Now, students, While the college preps you on the technical front and gives you all the hard skills that you need to score well, what will make you stand out as successful leaders are soft skills or interpersonal skills, as we call it. It's a combination of one's attitude, communication, emotional intelligence, leadership, teamwork, personal integrity, some of which Dr. Mani just mentioned before. I'm sure during the lockdown, many of you would have added value to yourself by maybe learning a foreign language, or maybe enrolling yourself for a new course, or upskilling yourself learning a new software. But I wonder how many of you invested time in sprucing up your soft skills. Well, take it from me as a human resource professional, this would be my recommendation. Fine-tuning your soft skills will never go out of vogue. As long as we are dealing with people and with their emotions, maintaining a healthy interpersonal relationships always comes to your advantage. You know, a quick smile, good posture, maintaining eye contact while talking, and practicing good mannerisms. I mean, it's as simple as opening the door for someone, not having your hands in your pockets when you're talking to somebody senior, or just being chivalrous. All this seems to be like forgotten skills. And this is what, to me, is knowing oneself. You know, I hear people say, oh, you're not here to win a popularity contest. You don't have to please everyone. True that, that's right, because all five fingers are not the same. There will be people who will continue to find fault with you despite how good you are. But trust me, if you maintain a healthy rapport with all, it just makes your work a lot simpler. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a healthy or a great rapport with your senior, and the senior has a very good opinion about you. And he has assigned a task to you, and you goof up. You do not perform it well. What would be the repercussions? The senior would say, oh, actually, he's a great guy, but this time he didn't get it right. Let's give him another chance. They would give you the benefit of doubt. Am I right? But what if the same, you were dealing with a senior with whom your relationship is strained and he doesn't have a great opinion about you? He gives you a task and you end up moving up. What would be the repercussions here? Simple, you will be labeled as inefficient or unreliable, right? So this is where the need to maintain good relationship with others comes into play. So I'm going to ask you to focus on three areas, like Mr. Mani asked you to focus on A, B, C. I'm going to ask you to focus on three areas to be able to achieve professional excellence by knowing yourself and thereby knowing others. Now, let me give you a situation. You're standing in a bus stand and you've forgotten your mobile and you're not wearing your watch either and you want to know the time. There are two people standing next to you. There is one gentleman who's very loud in his appearance, wearing flashy clothes, unkempt hair, looks at you with arrogance, and he's wearing a Rolex watch. Beside him is a gentleman who's wearing very simple clothes, but looks very presentable, has a nice smile on his face, but is wearing only a Timex watch. Whom would you ask the time to? Obviously, our mind will drive us towards the person who is simple, who's having a smile on his face, but wearing a Timex watch. Am I right? Why? Because seeing is believing. Psychology says seeing is believing. So the first area that you would focus on is sight. What do others see in me? Well, we are being judged every given point in time. I'm sure, the 150 of you all must be kind of making a judgment on me at this point in time, and likewise. It's your external image that one sees first. And please remember, it just takes seconds for us to form the first impression of a person. So developing a pleasing personality always tops the chart. Please endeavor to appear presentable at all times. You don't know whom you're going to meet. But please don't get me wrong here. By meaning presentable, I'm not talking about beauty and I'm not talking about makeup. We're all born with one face. But do we look the same when we wake up, first thing in the morning and to now? There is a change, right? We, brush, we freshen up, we wear fresh clothes, we tidy up, and then we look presentable. This is what I'm talking about. Even the most ordinary face can be enhanced if we tidy up a bit and wear the most inexpensive accessory, which is a smile. So being in human resources, I can tell you, and I'm sure Mr. Mani will agree with me, that for us, it just takes less than 30 seconds to decide in our head, I want to hire this person. He should be in my team, or no, I don't think so. I want to have this person in my team. It just takes us 30 seconds. So what are we looking for in these 30 seconds? Well, we gauge you by the way you are attired, the way you ask yourself to enter the room. We watch your body language, we watch your smile, and most importantly, all this reflects on your attitude. We can quickly judge one's trustworthiness, maybe your physical strength or stamina, and maybe your intentions too, just by subtle facial and vocal cues. While skill sets are very important, and most of us believe that we need to hire for attitude and train for skills, but it is seldom the other way around. If you are a class topper, please do remember that you can never wear your marks on your forehead. If you display poor body language during the time of interview, you have lost the opportunity to create that first impression altogether. And changing that first impression really requires a lot of work, and the decision seldom changes. As they say, first impression is the last impression. And also remember, you never get a second chance to change that first impression. So the bottom line is, please get it right. So once I have evaluated you externally in my head, and you have managed to make a good first impression, the next focus is on, what do I hear? Well, there are a lot of factors that play here. The tone and tenor in which you speak, it speaks volume of one's confidence, one's humility, one's authority, etc. They say when you speak, there is a mix of both verbal as well as non-verbal communication. Now, would you know which of the two has more weightage? Is it verbal or non-verbal? Well, the answer is non-verbal communication. They say when you communicate, 55% goes to, it's visual, it goes to your body language. 38% goes to the tone in which you are speaking. Basically, how you are speaking, right? What's the balance? 55 plus 38, balance is 7. And the 7% goes to the actual words spoken. You see how much of a difference between verbal and non-verbal? Hence, the bottom line is, what you speak is not important. How you speak is more important. Simple things like maintaining eye contact with the person that you are speaking with, speaking in the right tone, not making rude or intimidating gestures, avoid pointing, clock watching, strumming of fingers, or maybe sometimes entering the personal space of a person, getting too close to the person while talking. All these are negative body languages. So by getting the art of communication right, you get heard well too. So we discussed two things. What do others see? And the next we discussed, what do others hear? Well, the final area that I want you all to kind of focus is, what do others feel about you after having an interaction with you? Well, in today's world, we're all in a rat race to do it first and be in the spotlight. And we forget that we need to do it right as well. Virtues like compassion, being empathetic, having patience, and integrity all seem to be kind of waning. And I urge students like you to embrace them, please. The ability to put yourself in the other person's shoes and see where it pinches is the need of the hour. Look for win-win situations mostly. Yes, Mr. Mani just spoke about it. But sometimes it is also okay to lose to win some battles. Am I right? We have enough managers out there, but we have very few leaders. And I earnestly wish that you will all not be just leaders, but you will make great leaders. And for that, it is very important that you build a strong foundation of your soft skills. You know, they say your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card, and the way you make others feel after having an interaction with you is your trademark. In my 23 years of experience, I stand corrected, the intro said 18. I can give you countless examples of people who I have hired purely because of their attitude. Maybe they were not good in their skill sets then, but we hired because of their attitude, because we knew that if the attitude is in place, teaching them anything would not be difficult. And today, I can proudly say, those people are holding very successful positions in multinational companies. And it is all because of their attitude and their strong foundation on soft skills. I wish to conclude with a small story. We all like stories. So the story is about a balloon seller. Some of you all may have heard it. So there was this balloon seller who was selling helium balloons. And he was selling this next to a children's park. So every time the business was kind of low, he would release one of the balloons into the air, and the balloon will go towards the children's park. And the moment the kids see the balloon, they will be excited and they'll say, yay, but the balloon man is here, let's go buy some balloons from him. And that's how he made his money. So one day, when business was on, he suddenly felt a tug on his shirt. And he looked down and he saw this lanky, small, dark boy looking at the balloon seller and asking, Uncle, do you have a black balloon? So the balloon seller was quite surprised. He said, why son? I have a lot of colors. I have red, green, yellow, pink, maybe blue also. So the boy said, no, uncle, I just want to know if a black balloon will rise up to the sky. The balloon seller was kind of touched. So he got down on his knees, held the boy on his shoulder and said, son, it is not the color of the balloon that takes the balloon to the sky, but what is inside the balloon that helps the balloon to fly. A simple story, but has a very deep meaning. So if you want to soar high, keep your attitude positive, develop that pleasing personality, get your body language bang on, speak respectfully, and lastly, treat people the way you want to be treated. With this, I conclude my session. My name is Vani Sengupta, and I'm the Director of Human Resources at the Westin Hotel in Chennai. And thank you for listening to me, and I wish each one of you the very best. Should any of you want me to mentor or coach you, I would be happy to. You can reach out to me. Yes, I'm there on all the social media platforms, and finding me would not be difficult. So thank you for this opportunity. I wish to personally thank my friend Preeti for this, and all the faculty of ITM as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vani ma'am, for addressing our audience and highlighting the importance of interpersonal skills. And I hope our participants will definitely benefit